and welcome back to Life with Horses by Arwa. If you're new here, this podcast is a place where we talk about horses, riding, and the quiet life lessons they teach us along the way. In the first episode, I introduced myself and why horses mean so much to me. In the second, we talked about different horse breeds and how deeply horses can feel our emotions. And in the last episode, we explored the walk, basic gait, and steering. Today we're moving into something a little faster, a little bouncier, and for many riders, a little challenging. Today's episode is all about the trot. Now, the trot is where riders often start to question themselves. It's where balance is needed, confidence wobbles, and patience really matters. Now, the trot is a 2B gait, which means the horse moves diagonal legs together, one front leg and the opposite hind leg at the same time. Now, if you don't understand that right now, I'll explain that more later in the episode. Now, it's faster than the walk, but slower than the canter. And for many riders, it's the first gait that feels uncomfortable. The trot has rhythm, but it also has bounce. Now, if your body isn't relaxed or balanced, you'll feel every step. This is usually the moment where riders realize horses don't just carry us, they respond to us. Now let's move on to the two main ways riders experience the trot. First, the posting trot. This is when you rise and sit in the rhythm with the horse's movements. Posting helps absorb the motion and makes the trot smoother for both rider and horse. Posting is often easier for beginners and helps confidence. It teaches timing, coordination, and awareness. Then there's the sitting trot. This is more advanced and requires a relaxed seat, strong balance, and trust. At first, sitting the trot can be difficult, but over time it becomes one of the most connected feelings you can have with a horse. I learned something important here. The more tense I was, the harder the trot felt. But when I softened my body and breathed, everything changed. Now, at the trot, horses feel everything. They feel your balance, they feel your nerves, they feel your core confidence, and they feel even your breathing. If you're anxious, the horse becomes tight. If you're calm, the horse relaxes. And this also connects back to something we talked about earlier in this podcast. Horses don't just listen to commands, they listen to energy. The trot teaches us that control doesn't come from force. It comes from harmony. Now that we talked about what trot feels like, let's slow things down for a moment and really understand what's happening underneath us. Because once we understand the movements, the trot starts to make a lot more sense. The trot is a 2B gait, which means that the horse moves diagonal pairs of legs together. One front leg and the opposite hind leg move at the same time, then they switch. So it's not left, right like the walk. It's diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. Between each of those beats, there's a small moment of suspension, where all four hooves are briefly off the ground. That moment, a tiny lift, is what creates the bounce you feel as a rider. The horse back moves upward and forward, almost like a gentle wave. And the goal as a rider isn't to stop that movement, it's to follow it. This is where position becomes really important because even we talk about posting or sitting, everything starts with your basic position in saddle. Your seat should be centered and balanced with your weight evenly distributed on both seat bones. You're not leaning forward and you're not leaning back. You're simply sitting with the horse. Your legs hang long and relaxed down the horse's sides. Your thighs rest softly against the saddle, your knees stay loose, and your heels sink down naturally, not forced, just heavy. Your upper body stays tall, shoulders relaxed, chest open, heads up, and eyes looking forward. There's a simple line riders use to check their position. Ear, shoulder, hip, and heel should all line up. When your body's all aligned like this, you're balanced, and balance is everything at the trots. Now let's talk about the posting trots, because this is where most of riders start to feel the rhythm. Posting is when you rise slightly out the saddle for one beat and sit softly back down for the next. You're rising with one diagonal pair of the horse's legs, then sitting at the other diagonal's moves. You're not standing up, you're not throwing your body forward. The movement comes from your hips and thighs, not your upper body. Your upper body stays tall and quiet, while your lower body follows the horse's motion. Your legs act like shock absorbers to help you stay smooth and steady. Posting trots teaches timing, it teaches rhythm, and most importantly, it teaches you to move with horses instead of against them. Then there's the sitting trot, which feels very different. In the trot, you stay seated, allow your hips to follow the horse's movement fully. This requires relaxation more than strength. A lot of riders think control comes from gripping, but at the sitting trots, gripping actually makes everything harder. When you tense your knees, hold your breath, or stiffen your back, the trot feels rough. When you often soften, breathe, and you let your hips move with the horse, the motion becomes smoother. Your hands stay quiet and steady with soft elbows that move gently with the horse's head and neck. Your legs remain long and calm, supporting the horse without clamping. One of the most important things at the trot, and some riders often forget, is the breathing. Holding your breath creates tension. Breathing deeply helps your body relax and follow the movement naturally. The horse feels this immediately. At the trot, horses feel everything. They feel your balance, they feel tension, they feel your confidence or your fear. If you rush, they rush. If you tighten, they tighten. If you breathe and trust, they soften. This is why trot is the most powerful teacher. It shows us that harmony doesn't come from force, it comes from awareness. When your trot is balanced, relaxed, and in the rhythm with the horse, the trot stops feeling chaotic and it starts feeling like a conversation. And once you start to understand that once your body and the horse's movement begin to match, the trot becomes more than just a gait. It becomes a lesson in balance, patience, and trust. To me, the trot represents a stage in life. It's not slow enough to feel completely safe, and it's not fast enough to feel free. It's in the between. The trot teaches patience. It teaches you not to rush progress, and it reminds us that growth can feel uncomfortable before it feels natural. Sometimes in life, we're not ready to sprint forward, but already outgrown standing still. The trot reminds us to find rhythm even when things feel a little unsteady. So that's the trot, a gait that challenges us, teaches our balance, and builds trust between horse and rider. If you're struggling with the trot, and remember, every rider has been there, progress comes with patience. Now, in the next episode, we'll talk about the canter, that gait that feels smoother, lighter, and almost like flying. Thank you for listening to Life with Horses by Arwa, and I'll see you in the next episode.